In case you don't know who I am, my name is Nataliya, and I like to think and talk about all things regarding life in general, and the ways that we can build new life because I'm the one who is very, very, very much so interested to build what we call these days new earth. To me, that means new ways of being, which are in alignment with the earth and the nature and natural cycles, natural rhythm, and our natural environment, etc. And we all know by now that the old ways are not working, so we need to bring some new ways. And today I am wanting to talk about scaling because everybody I see everywhere all the time, everybody is super obsessed with scaling. Everybody's like, you must scale. And I disagree. There are some things and a lot of things that should not be scaled. And as example, number one is medicine. For example, right? Medicine, I don't think medicine should have ever been made into a business to start with, because then it becomes, and it have become already, modern medicine is not interested in our healing. Modern medicine is interested in us being alive, but sick, because if we're healthy, we are not profitable. We don't bring profits to the medical business. Same with education. Education should not be a business, in my opinion. And personally, my business, I never want to scale it because I do one-on-one work and I make my work because I do it one-on-one, because so in my business, just to make clear what I do, in my business, I help women to make decisions, important decisions in their lives, without being driven by fear or pressure or need to perform. Instead, we make important decisions from remembering what's truly important to this human being, and then we align to that, and then we make decisions from that. So this kind of work, I do not know how to do this kind of work in a group, because groups are mainly often for teaching, and teaching is fine, but the depth and the transformation of a human being cannot be done in a group. And that's my personal belief, not necessarily doesn't have to be true for everybody. But I think our obsession with scaling is a symptom that we're still buying into the old way of doing things, because honestly, scaling is one of the things that are wrong. And it's not morally wrong, it's just why we are collapsing. That's why we're out of resources. That's why we live in structures and systems like we do right now in today's world. That's because people want to scale and then they want to hoard what they produce. Profits, corporations. Why do corporations hold on their billions and billions of dollars worth of money? It's hoarding money. These resources could be used for building schools, investing in better cleaner technology, restoring ecosystems, so many things we could invest money in. But instead, people, billionaires, millionaires, hoarding this money. Why? Why are we hoarding the money? And why to scale? A story comes to mind. Remember that story about fisherman and a millionaire? Fisherman goes fishing, gets how much fish they need, come home, make food, and then rest for the rest of the day. And then there's this rich person comes and says, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you laying here under the tree?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just chilling." "Oh, why are you chilling? What do you do?" "Oh, I'm a fisherman. I just take what I need, and then the rest of the day I enjoy, I hang out with my friends, with my family, and enjoy life." And the rich person says, "Well, what if you caught more fish, and then you could sell it, and then you can grow your business, and at the end of the day, I'm sure you heard that story, you arrive to the same thing, like why? So you can lay down, spend time with your friends and family, and don't hustle." So the hustle, what we're buying into, the lie we're buying into is that if I make more money, if I have more money in the bank, I will be safe, I will be secure, and everything will be okay, and I can relax finally, and I can enjoy my life with my family, my friends, and everything. But we forget one little thing, that money is a fiction of our imagination. In the olden days, when there was barter, before the money was invented, we couldn't, we would bake bread and go to the market and exchange it for some fish, for example, right? You couldn't hoard bread, you couldn't hoard fish. Bread would go stale, fish would rot. You just would take what you need and then you would do exchanges. Money just became like, oh, then we got gold, right? Gold, we started to like, oh, I can save it for later. And that's fine. But today we we hoard the numbers on the screen. What is money now in today's world? It's just money on the screen, numbers on the screen. And we have this illusion, if I have many, many numbers, like multiple digits on my bank account, I will be safe, I will be secure, and all that. But I'll tell you that much. I lived through a total currency collapse when I was a teen then, when Soviet Union collapsed. I was born in Soviet Union. When Soviet Union collapsed overnight, my parents lost all their savings. So one day we had savings, next day we had no savings. So that didn't keep us secure. Mom and dad weren't secure having their savings. What, on the other hand, kept us secure is the skills, resourcefulness, and creativity. Those are things that cannot be found somewhere out there. My mom was a pharmacist, so she just kept going to work, and that was her income. My dad, he changed, he learned, I remember studying my books that I was studying in the university, and he started his own business, he worked for other people as well. So what saved us in that situation was resourcefulness. It was not how many dollars we had in the account. So I think this illusion of, oh, I will scale and I will have a lot of money and I will be safe and secure is coming from anxiety about the future. And it's fear. We are basing our hopes into the fear. Oh, well, guess what? We don't have any control over economies, whether it's going to carry on or collapse. Especially the way the world is going today doesn't feel all that stable. And even investments, we're saying, oh, go and invest in the index fund because historically it's great. And maybe that's a good idea. And at the same time, me personally, I invest in myself, in my own growth, in my own creativity, in my own expansion, in my own evolution. That's the only thing that I get to keep. Everything else is whatever. Anyway, so this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that think twice before you scale. Ask yourself questions. Why? What is driving your desire to scale? If you want more impact, is it really truly going to make more impact? I know some people, it's a very, very, very rare occasion when people scale because they want to bring money to invest into something. So not to keep for themselves for safety security, but to invest in building a school, investing in technology for the future, like green technology or something like that. That I understand. That kind of scaling I get. If the scaling comes from fear, then I would question that. And is it really worth your effort to go into that kind of work and be driven by fear? So I'm going to end on this. This was fun. Oh, and if somebody wants to talk back to me, I see 2 people on this live. How exciting is that? Um, if somebody wants to talk back to me, I think there's a way to do that. But if not, I'm just going to figure out how to end this chat. Hmm. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I think I will do that again because that's exciting. All right. Have a great day, everybody.